Welcome inside the arena. I'm Monica McNutt alongside Las Vegas Aces president Nikki Fargas. And Nikki, flat out, momentum seems to be the name of this game. When you look at this Oregon Duck squad that now is facing another top 10 team in 3 days.
Well, they're going to bring that momentum into tonight's game, and I bet you one thing that you're going to see an up and down pace game because Oregon right now has depth on their side.
Thank you, Monica and Nikki. And indeed, on this Martin Luther King Day, we are also honoring Pat Summitt and her continued impact on women's basketball, both on and off the court. We all back Pat. That's Steph White. I'm Pam Ward. Now, this Uconn team still in the top 10. No AZ Fudd, no Paige Beckers, and another blow today. Kristen Williams is not available.
Yeah, this is a huge blow to Uconn. Not only is Kristen Williams their leading scorer, she's their primary playmaker, and she has been sensational on the defensive end of the floor. Uconn is really going to have to get more production by committee, but it's going to start with Avina Westbrook and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. And for Oregon, they have a full roster for the second straight game, and the big three are back. They have played 4 games together. They average almost 44 points combined. What this does for Kelly Graves, it puts the playmakers back on the floor offensively. It allows the role players to play their role, play inside of themselves. We're going to see a full complement today of the offensive playbook.
And you're also going to see a great crowd. There's Niara Sabally getting ready to tip against Olivia Nelson-Ododa, and we are underway. Nika Mule back in the starting lineup. This is her making her 4th straight start. No Kristen Williams, so Avina Westbrook back in the starting lineup, and right away they attack inside to Caroline Ducharme, who has really blossomed with all of the other injuries.
Well, we saw Oregon working on that play, defending it yesterday in practice, and really is a mismatch right there. Have to work really difficult, have to make it really difficult for her to get a touch.
Oregon coming out 48 hours after a thrilling overtime win against Arizona, also in the top 10, trying to get those back-to-back upsets. Shot clock winding down, long 3. Good box out by Westbrook. Chase for the ball is taken by Parrish. And now on the other side, shot off the mark by Pau Pau. Her 5th game back from an injury. Remember, she hurt herself not participate late in the season last year. Good hustle by Parrish. Shear, who has been running the point. Another 3, and Oregon off to a slow start from the outside. They've missed all 3 of their shots, all of them so far coming from beyond the arc. Nice. Boy, Mule with a terrific look inside to Nelson-Ododa.
Well, Gino Auriemma talked to us about Mika Mule, and she just changes things for them offensively when she's on the floor. Great vision, ability to deliver the pass.
Says that she is so intense sometimes that has to dial it back a little bit, but a sweet assist, and UConn's out to the 4-0 start. Only 8 players available for the Huskies this afternoon. Pau Pau, another 3. They've not taken a 2 yet, Steph.
Well, what the zone does is it lures you into thinking that you have wide open 3-point shots. Oregon really does need to establish himself inside as Ducharme gets a bucket and 1.
There's Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd leading the cheers on the sideline. Great start for the Huskies.
Yeah, Churi is in transition, pushing when they have an opportunity. And what great confidence Caroline Ducharme is playing with. I mean, this is a player who, if Paige Beckers is on the floor, if AZ Fudd is on the floor, probably doesn't get a lot of minutes this season. She talked to us about being prepared for her opportunity, and she sure has taken advantage of it.
In fact, Caroline Ducharme in her first 4 games scored 4 total points, all of them in 1 game. That was against the University of Minnesota. Only had 1 field goal then. And since then has come on averaging 16 points per game since Beckers got hurt. Shear saved it.
You see how stagnant Oregon is offensively. They're not getting any paint touches.
They need another 3. Nope, a long 2 taken as the shot clock expires, and Oregon now has gone almost 3 minutes into this game and has not yet scored a point. Westbrook, who is from Salem, Oregon, has a lot of people here, got it inside to Dorka Juhas, who got fouled. Gino Auriemma, who has had the most brilliant of careers with 11 national championships, and in his 37th season was talking to us today about the challenges. He says we have 4 players who can hit outside shots on this team, and 3 of them aren't playing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
The game is about shot making. It certainly is a problem. But what they do have is they have a system that is an equal opportunity system. They have a system where anybody can be in any position on the floor. So when you don't have perimeter players, as they only have 3, their bigs can work around the perimeter because it's what they do every day.
Juhas missed the second one, but a terrific rebound. Nelson Udata draws another foul. Senior from Winder, Georgia, at the free throw line. Kelly Graves, the head coach for this Oregon team. It's a big win against Arizona the other day. And was talking in practice when his team was going through it yesterday. Said, no, you got to run it at Uconn pace. He thought they were a little bit too slow, and we have seen Uconn coming out of the gates very quickly. This time, good passing around the perimeter. Finally, Sydney Parrish breaks the drought.
Sydney Parrish is one of those players that benefits from having the big 3 back on the floor. You know, she can play the wing, she can play the stretch 4. She's a catch and shoot type of player, and she gets more of those opportunities with Rogers and Pow.
Westbrook misses the outside shot. Oregon is the best 3-point shooting team in the Pac-12, hitting 38% coming into this game. Sabally, they kind of left her open.
Why not, Pam?
That is her 3rd make in 6 attempts from distance this year, and just like that, they're only down 4. Good defense by Sabally. That's good catch by Mule.
Oh, good seal by Nelson Udata. That pass was just a little bit late, but she was able to get it back.
Good effort to get it inside.
When you see the 2-2-1 by Uconn, really want to try to slow the pace down. They don't want to allow Oregon to get in an up-tempo game. In order to set that 2-2-1, you have to score the basketball, and Uconn's been doing that.
Uconn has hit 4 of its 5 shots this afternoon.
Not a lot of movement right now by Oregon. Pace is very slow, passing around the perimeter.
And the shot clock winding down. Turnover on a traveling call.
Well, Oregon does a good job finding the skip pass, the extra pass. Sydney Parrish knocking down the 3. And then in transition, look at Pow, just her pace. She's calm, she delivers the ball, and Sabally says, you don't want to guard me, I'm going to take that 3.
Bouchard just a little bit too strong. Inside, Sedona Prince had it roll out. Rebound taken down by Westbrook, who was on the move. Sabally had it taken away by Ducharme. And then Sabally took it right back. Westbrook poked it away from Rogers. End-to-end action now. It's Mule. Contact, but no foul.
Got an advantage. Got to push right here if you're Oregon.
Pow right down the middle.
I was talking to Kelly Graves in mid-December, and he was talking about Tahina Pow coming from the same high school as Kelsey Plum, Candace Wiggins, and their high school coach says Pow is the best that they've ever coached, and that is a huge compliment. And Kelly Graves said she just means so much to our team with her playmaking ability.
So Uconn got off to a fast start. Oregon chipping away down 4 as we hit our first timeout in Eugene. You are watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. Coming to you this afternoon from the gorgeous Pacific Northwest in Eugene, Oregon. Uconn up 10-0 at one point. The Ducks have cut it back down to 2. And for Uconn, a very unusual season and it started December 5th. Paige Beckers got hurt her knee, had subsequent surgery a week later, and then they lost it. Nell Fortner's team, Georgia Tech, first unranked loss since 2012, and then about 11 days later dropped out of the top 10 for the first time since 2005. This is a Uconn team that has lost 3 games, and Husky Nation feels like the sky is falling. And you see these impressive streaks, Steph White, we might never see again.
Yeah, it's likely we'll never see them again. And, you know, it shows that Uconn is human now. And Gino Auriemma talked about the challenges, you know, of this year. It's challenged them in a lot of good ways, challenged them in a lot of bad ways.
Powell with the miss. He also said that it should solidify to everyone why Paige Beckers should have been National Player of the Year last year. You say you take her out of our lineup, and he admits that they are not the same team, almost an ordinary team.
Well, and you see the numbers right there, but you know, Auriemma talked about, you know, every good team has one player that really just pulls it together. And when you lose that one player, it makes you average. It makes you like everybody else. And he's absolutely right. Paige Beckers is that player for this team, for this program.
Prince with the miss. We see some subs in for Oregon. Ducharme can't complete it. Number 22 in the bright yellow, Kylie Watson, sophomore from New Jersey. Oregon definitely with the depth advantage this afternoon. Powell with another miss. She has missed 4 of her 5 shots. Oregon just shooting 25% as a team, but still down 4. Sedona Prince with the one-handed rebound. Getting in front of Aaliyah Edwards. Number 3, who's come in for Uconn, the Canadian. Wide open. Rogers with the miss. Again, she had the game-winning shot in the final half-second of overtime to beat Arizona on Saturday after she missed 10 of her first 11 shots in that game.
Yes, she 1 for 10, took that out. And then we see Ducharme taking advantage of the mismatch inside. It's very difficult to have help side defense when the ball's in the middle of the floor, and Uconn does such a good job of keeping the ball between the lane lines to make those post-entry passes.
Boy, Nelson Dodo showing you that she is very handy as far as assists are concerned, averaging 3.5 per game as a post player. Good ball reversal, pow!
This is also an Oregon team, Pam, that again, we say the second game that they have played in a back-to-back game where they've had their full complement of players. So it's going to take them a little time to get their rhythm on the offensive end and the defensive end of the floor as well. They're really in mid to late November form.
Parrish with the miss.
Look up.
Yep, Edwards was all alone. Great hustle by Powell. But yeah, they were very late.
Missed the opportunity to score in transition. Ball inside. Again, Uconn keep running that. Ducharme has a size advantage. They're getting it to her inside. And then really good skip pass in transition. Powell knocks down the 3.
And Caroline Ducharme at 6'2", a freshman from Milton, Massachusetts, said she grew up as a Uconn fan since age 8, but said that she kept an open mind. In fact, took a visit to here in Oregon. As did AZ Fudd before they both signed with Connecticut. Uhas. Oh, that's a tough pass. Good catch by Ducharme. Edwards, guarded by Prince. Now Westbrook, the kid from Salem, Oregon, wide left.
And this is where you got to push on these long rebounds. Push. Oregon does such a good job of using drag screens in transition, but if they can flow into it, get Uconn on the defensive.
Powell, nice hesitation.
Man, watching her on film, I mean, her ability to change speeds. She doesn't get too rushed. She uses her body, her head and shoulders, her eyes to fake.
And an example of what Oregon is when she's not out on the floor. She has been invaluable since coming back from the injury. Westbrook. Uhas with the shot clock at 7. Rebound by Shania Pinto as Kelly Graves continues to substitute.
And going to look to get this last shot. Kelly Graves, they were working in the horns today, but at this point in the ball game, end of quarter, just give her an on-ball screen, let her go to work.
Pow plowed right in to Uhas, and they call it a blocking foul. Look at Uhas, the transfer from Ohio State. So Pow goes to the free throw line, 86%, just 12 of 14 so far. Thursday, how about a top 5 matchup in the ACC coming your way? Women's college basketball, Louisville and NC State. Come on, number 3 and number 4. Coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Game available on the ESPN app. Pow delivering. And she's going to sit down. Kelly Graves going to give her an extra break as Shear comes in to close out the quarter. Oregon with the lead for the first time on a 7-0 run. Uconn missed 11 of its last 12 shots to close out the quarter. They trail by 1. And it is indeed We Back Pat Week. Gino Auriemma, Pat Summitt, they had some battles, would you say?
They had some terrific battles.
And he has great respect. Very different personalities in many ways, very alike in others. And the Pat Summitt Foundation has done some terrific work into Alzheimer's research, raising millions of dollars. The Pat Summitt Foundation, adult day centers or respite for caregivers, which is something that a lot of people overlook. It's so hard on the family and friends that have to take care of the Alzheimer's people. So the Pat Summitt Foundation doing wonderful work. And Oregon has shut down Connecticut. Connecticut got out to a 10-0 lead, and it's been a different story ever since.
Oregon has found a way to put the ball in the hole, and Uconn has had a hard time over the last few possessions. And again, that's where you miss a player like Kristen Williams, who can create on her own, who can attack, who can help push in transition. Again, Williams unavailable because she's in COVID protocols. But on the defensive end of the floor as well, Gino Auriemma talked to us about we have to play a lot more zone now. We can't play as much man-to-man. We don't have the pieces. We've got to play zone. We've seen the last 2 possessions, they've gone man.
And Kristen Williams was one of the main focuses of the scout for Oregon. Jody Berry, the associate head coach, did the scout. That is bounced in by Shear. So no Kristen Williams. Steph mentioned she is in protocol. They are saying that Paige Beckers is on track to return in mid-February. No timetable yet for Fudd, but they say she is on track as well. Williams bottled up nicely. Uhas. Shot clock winding down. Mule sends it over. They need a shot, and they won't get one off.
That is the highest level of activity we've seen on the defensive end thus far by Oregon. They've mixed up their zones. They've mixed up man-to-man. On that possession, active hands, active feet, forced Uconn to be uncomfortable on the offensive end.
Edwards taking the seat now for Connecticut. And just 8 players available for the Huskies this afternoon. They came in yesterday and will charter back east right after the game. Nice crossover, Pow. And a charge as Sabali went into the lane. 2 fouls now on Sabali.
That's always a tough position right here for a big to be in. A really good read, but terrific rotation by Avina Westbrook. She comes in, she knows the high post dive is coming, she's in position, she takes the charge.
So we'll see if Sabali is done for the rest of the half, sitting down with the 2 personal fouls. Sabali among those coming back from injury, has had a right knee issue. Westbrook, step back, Ducharme, catch, shoot, miss everything, almost.
Drag, yes, use the drag in transition. I'm setting a drag every time for Pow if I'm a big coming down the floor.
Terrific hustle by Watson, Pow!
A career high 24 against Arizona. She's playing with confidence. She looks in rhythm.
Had a couple of threes in that overtime win. And meanwhile, Uconn has Nika Mule down. She is flexing her right wrist, as you see. So timeout on the floor. Oregon up by 6. Nika Mule taking the fall for the Huskies. We'll have more when we come back to Eugene.
Oregon up on Uconn, and a big reason is Tahina Paopao. She has been tremendous early in this ball game. 12 points, 4 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. She is dictating tempo. She is playmaking off of screens. Exactly what Kelly Graves talked about. Her ability to make plays for herself and others. It's great to see her back on the floor.
Such an important component of this team. She told us that she feels she's at about 90%. You see, she is acquitting herself quite nicely already with 12 points, as Steph mentioned, coming off a career high against Arizona day before yesterday, in which she had 24. She's already halfway there. And she said she feels like the team is almost like in mid-November shape. They're getting back together, and it's not just physical shape, right? It's learning to mesh and play together.
It is. It's building chemistry. I mean, 3 pieces, 3 players who were preseason all Pac-12 picks were not on the floor until they came together in conference play. And so trying to put all that together is going to take some time.
Meanwhile, the Uconn offense continues to struggle. They have not hit a field goal since 2.5 minutes were left in the first quarter. Paopao guarded by Ducharme. The defense down low, but what an effort by Kylie Watson.
It's a good confidence builder for Kylie Watson. She has struggled. Didn't even have a field goal attempt in 3 minutes against Arizona.
And she was one of the players that Uconn wasn't, actually would have been happy, right, especially to shoot from the outside, but she earned that 2 points. Uconn's drought continues.
Again, I think Oregon can go right into that on-ball screen, that drag in transition. Now you got a mismatch. You got to take advantage of it. You don't need that screen.
Nope, Watson came up. Prince left open, buried it.
Sedona Prince really started the rally in the fourth quarter against Arizona. Back to her natural position, playing around that high post. Oregon up 10.
Welcome back. Oregon has hit its last 3 shots. Sedona Prince this time.
Kelly Graves said that is exactly where she's most successful, and Niara Sabali is loving it. When I was talking to him in mid-December, he had said Sedona Prince is a high post, around the elbow type of player. That's where she feels most comfortable. She was having to play back to the basket because Niara Sabali was not on the floor. He said she will benefit most when Sabali gets back, and she's played with such great confidence.
Yeah, a lot of freedom out there for the redshirt junior. Started her career at Texas. You might recall she didn't play there after suffering a horrific leg injury for USA basketball, and Uconn just can't get anything going. Prince runs into Mule, and a blocking foul. Good to see Nika Mule out there after she was shaken up a little bit earlier. NBA Wednesday doubleheader coming your way. The Hornets square off against the Celtics, starting things off at 7:30 Eastern. That's 4:30 Oregon time. Then the Clippers take on the Nuggets. NBA doubleheader available on ESPN and the app. Coming your way on Wednesday. Prince at the line. It was Sedona Prince who had the social media post that shook up the world a little bit last year at the Final Four, showing the disparity between the men and women's weight rooms.
If you could call it a weight room at the time.
Weight area.
That's right. Kelly Graves was talking about Sedona Prince's social media presence. He said she's benefited tremendously as Nelson Adota gets 2 from NIL. He said she's got a lot of pressure because of it, and she handles it so well. You can just see her laid-back personality, really easygoing. He said everybody around here loves Sedona.
Yeah, she seems to a perfect fit for this part of the country, doesn't she? That was the first field goal for Uconn since 2.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Here's Prince again. Left it a little bit short. Rebound Mule. Uconn looking to run, but they do not have numbers. Lavina Westbrook's from Salem, Oregon. That's about midway between Eugene and Portland as you head north on I-5.
She said she was going to have a lot of people here. It was really special. Going to be an emotional day playing back at home.
Charm with the miss. Prince could box out, excuse me.
She didn't even have to jump for that.
No. Prince at 6'7".
Oh, nice pass.
And then a whistle underneath. Brenda Pantoja, Michael Price, and Infinity Robinson, are officials this afternoon in Eugene. That was a personal foul called on Westbrook, her first. India Rogers getting a hand from this crowd. Nice crowd on hand. Boy, they're up even in the upper deck of Matthew Knight Arena. Holds about 12,000 and change. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day at 2 o'clock local time tip, and there you see him. See a lot of that green and gold or green and yellow as you walk around town.
Well, Kelly Graves had talked about Sabrina Ionescu, and we saw her here yesterday, and just what she has done for this program, much in the same way that Courtney Vandersloot did for his Gonzaga programs. And basketball fans want to see great players. They want to see great teams, and you know the old "if you build it, they will come." They've built it here, and they are out in full support.
Yeah, they certainly have. Kelly Graves did such a great job at Gonzaga. 8 NCAA tournaments, a couple of Sweet 16s, and an Elite 8. And yeah, they had Courtney Vandersloot, pretty good point guard. And getting Sabrina Ionescu here from Northern California changed this program around. See quite a few people here with their number 20 jerseys still for her. Good play by Nelson Adota. Leads to the easiest bucket so far, I think, for Uconn. That's Westbrook.
Uconn doesn't have a lot of depth, but when they have opportunities to push in transition, they need to take advantage of it. Buckets, easy buckets, are hard to come by.
And Westbrook missed her first 4 shots before that one. Mule, that's a foul. Sophomore from Croatia. Starting for Kristen Williams. Again, if you're just joining us, the 5'11" senior guard who is such an important contributor on this team, averaging almost 15 points per game, unavailable in COVID protocol for the Huskies. Prince, nice catch! And the turnaround.
Well, great patience on the out-of-bounds play. Option 1, 2, and 3 weren't there. Maddie Shear able to deliver to Sedona Prince. Gino Orion was talking to his team today in shoot-around about being disciplined and not fouling. And right now they're giving Oregon opportunities at the foul line. And a lot of these are little touch fouls.
And he was telling them, if you get 3 or 4 fouls, he said, I don't care how many people I have available, I'm going to sit you down if you commit silly fouls. That's good work, Nelson Adota.
I love how aggressive Nelson Adota is being on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, she's a player who can score it. She's a terrific facilitator from that position. But they need her to put the ball in the hole.
Yep, into double figures down with 10. Prince, sweet spot.
Well, she can score in bunches. She had 10 in the 4th quarter against Arizona. We're seeing her get active and play with confidence right now.
Finished with 16, as you mentioned, 10 in that decisive 4th quarter on Saturday. They were down 17 in that game in the 3rd and came back to win in overtime. Watson called for that foul. Let's go over to Monica McNutt. What do we have coming up at halftime?
Thanks, man. Well, coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, of course, we'll digest this game, or dissect, I should say, with Coach Nikki Fargas. And then we're talking We Backpack and her legacy across the world of women's basketball. That's coming up on the E-Trade halftime report.
I think we can digest it as well, Monica. And it's so great to have Monica and Nikki
It is,
in
yes.
person at the arena in Eugene. talk about for Oregon. Boy, Prince, gosh, she can't catch the ball there, Steph.
No, and this is a really tough Oregon team to defend because they're so balanced, because now that they have all their pieces together, Kelly Graves can put them exactly where he wants them, whether it be against man-to-man, against zone. And Uconn playing that 2-3, you have to cover that high post area.
Gosh, and Ducharme has really had a hard time. She's taken 11 shots, hit 4 of them, but is 0 for 5 from 3, turned it over on that trip. Nothing easy for the Huskies. Their losses to South Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Louisville, trailing here to an unranked Oregon team. Leah Edwards turned it over.
Oh, that hurts. The extra shuffle. Aaliyah Edwards did such a good job of getting in the passing lane right here. That's a long pass across court. And you'll see when she picks it up, the 1-2-3.
And the fans behind us chanting, "You can't do that." You're right.
You can at the next level sometimes.
Yes, true. 3 missed by Rogers. Here comes Mule.
No, you're not used to talking about Uconn teams having a small margin for error. As in Olivia Nelson-Adota goes to work, but the travel called underneath. But this is a team that has been decimated by injury. Now Kristen Williams in COVID protocol, so margin for error is really slim. Have to take advantage when you have opportunities. And here's Nelson-Adota down low. Yeah, the right foot shuffled just a little bit.
11 turnovers for the Huskies. Oregon has turned them so far into 8 points. Minute and a half left to go in the first half. Number 15, Filipina Che, in for Oregon. There she is, Kelly Graves, so she's Tierra McCowan-like. Got fouled.
Yeah, he really had a lot of high praise for Filipina Che. Said she loves the game. She hasn't been playing very long. She's got great hands. She studies. She's a film rat. She wants to get better. And he did. He said she's like Tierra McCowan was at this age.
And oh yeah, she's 6'8". And Canadian. She's from Calgary. And a lefty. That one for LaChina Robinson. We have a really good Super Tuesday doubleheader for you tomorrow night. Men's basketball. How about Kansas and Norman to take on Oklahoma? And then follow that up in the ACC as Duke takes on Florida State. Both games on ESPN and the app. One app, one tap. Again, men's basketball tomorrow night. Uconn led 10-0. Hard to believe right now, isn't it? Mule, nope. Not a lot of second chance opportunities either. Here's Pow Pow. Good ball fake. They lost Prince.
Cam, Pow Pow's just so good. I mean, she just waits for things to develop. She doesn't get rushed. She pulled it out. She saw it before it happened. Prince just kept running.
She's only a sophomore. Runner by Ducharme finally gets something to fall. Making that 6-0 run. Contact counted. India Rogers.
Another playmaker gets back on the floor. Rogers hangs, draws the contact, and finishes.
First one on Ducharme. Sedona Rogers goes out. Or Sedona Prince, excuse me, and gets a huge ovation from this crowd. Kelly Graves continuing to run in people.
He doesn't know what to do with so many subs on the bench.
Yeah, he's played 10. Uconn has gotten only 6 players, 6 of their 8 available into the game. Shot clock is off. Huskies down 15. Westbrook, the Oregon native. Inside, blocked by Shea. And the Oregon Ducks, after falling behind 10-0, outscore the Huskies 39-14 the rest of the half, and they take a chunky 15-point lead into the locker room. Welcome to Big Monday, presented by LinkedIn. And it was a big first half for Te-Hina Paopao, a dozen points, and she and Sedona Prince, she also had 12 points. My goodness, Oregon leading Uconn 39-24, while Oregon joined Georgia Tech as the second unranked team to beat Uconn this season, something that hadn't happened in a decade. Even to lose once to an unranked team. Pam Ward along with former Wade Trophy winner Stephanie White. And boy, UConn shorthanded, just 8 players today. Kristen Williams unavailable and COVID protocol, got off to a great start, but things changed quickly.
Yeah, they really did. They shot the ball very well the first part of that first quarter, and then they cooled off significantly. Just not enough offensive firepower in that first half for UConn. But Oregon got going. They started off cold, and they got going on the offensive end, and Te-Hina Paopao was one of the main reasons why. She single-handedly is controlling the ball game for Oregon. She started off by getting to the rim, knocking down a couple of threes. She is a playmaker for herself and for others, and what impresses me most right now is just her pace of the game. She doesn't get rushed. She dictates. She understands when, where, who, and how to get the basketball to her teammates. And we're going to watch this in transition. We're going to start it right here on a freeze. And as we roll it, check out Paopao looking over her shoulder. She sees Sedona Prince. Freeze it right here. 1 defender, 2 defender, and then right here, Sedona Prince running the floor. Watching how Paopao stops. She engages those defenders. She has an eye on Prince. She waits for just the right time to deliver the pass. Gets Sedona Prince an easy 2.
Yeah, Te-Hina Paopao showing how special she is. Ducharme and Nelson Odoto doing most of the work for UConn, who did not hit a 3 in the first half. UConn 0 for 8 from distance. And Paopao, in addition to the 12 points, also has 6 rebounds, which is only 3 off of her career high. Coming back from an injury, reason to smile, and Gino Auriemma knowing that this was going to be a tough out for them. Remember the last time they played? It was in Stores, and Connecticut lost that game 74-56. It was 2 years ago, their worst loss ever at Gampel.
Well, a lot of firsts,
yeah.
You know, for Gino Auriemma and for UConn, you know, over the course of the last couple of years, and we saw the numbers right there. It's going to be really important for the Huskies to establish themselves with some high percentage shots. Look at them to attack that high post of the zone.
Ducharme trying to get it inside. Nelson Odoto, good pass and a nice result for Juhas, who gets the bucket. That is her first field goal. Only took 2 shots in the first half. Maddie Shear getting it over to Paopao, guarded by Westbrook. The drive, nice block, and the big primal scream from Nelson Odoto.
Nelson Odoto coming off a game where she had a career high 8 blocks. And boy, she sends a message right there. Don't bring this in here.
Averaging over 2 blocks a game. Yep, career high 8 blocks and 5 steals in their last game against Xavier, but everything's going well for Paopao.
Sometimes you have it like that, Pam. Sometimes you do. I loved her energy yesterday in practice. She was vocal, you know, she was active, and that is a good sign for UConn. Avina Westbrook has got to be more assertive on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first 3 made by the Huskies this afternoon. Just 2 points for Avina in the first half.
Well, Avina Westbrook has the experience. She understands what it takes. I remember early in the season, Rebecca Lobo was calling on Avina Westbrook to be that scorer when Paige Beckers went out with injury, and she's been inconsistent offensively. And Ducharme with the 2.
Yeah, Caroline Ducharme, the freshman from Massachusetts. As you take a look at Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd sitting side by side on the bench, there's so much talent on the bench, so many points sitting there. Paopao, a little bit too strong. Good rebound, Juhas.
Dodge one right there. She's hit 3 threes. I wouldn't be going under any screens.
Prince going to check in at the next whistle for Oregon. Juhas Uhas missed everything. Pow with another rebound.
Got a space right here if you're Rogers. If they're going to set that middle screen for Pow, you got to give her some space.
Sabally working against Uhas, one-on-one, a little bit of separation and works. The little sister, Niara Satu Sabally, who we all know from Oregon in the WNBA, and Niara might be
one of the things Kelly Graves,
right?
was talking about was she was, as Ducharme hits the three, and everybody talked about Satu much more polished than Niara early in her career, and that Niara had a potential to be better. She's been saddled with injuries much of her career, is finally healthy this season and making an impact.
Now, number one, Sabally missed the first 2 seasons with knee injuries. Another three, this time it's Parrish. We check that Shear. Maddie Shear knocking it down.
Oregon leading Uconn 47-34, and they're grabbing money here in Matthew Knight Arena. Are you kidding me? I don't know what this is, but I love it. How much do you think you could grab there, Pam?
About $4 probably.
Well, Oregon has certainly been money from the three-point line. 6 3-point shots on the day. Uconn started in a zone. Oregon struggled the first few possessions, but boy, they found it. 6 of those threes, 4 of them in the first half, and Tahina Pow has 3 of them. She has been lighting it up. They're finding it all over the floor. And the thing that I like most about Oregon is they struggled early, but they stayed within their offensive system. They stayed within their offensive flow. They were stagnant. Once they started moving more, started passing around the perimeter, getting paint touches as well, started opening up, and they were knocking them down.
Best 3-point shooting team in the Pac-12. Starting to come alive. Playing defense. Sabally forced that bobble. And then Prince and Sabally ganged up on Nelson Adota. Sedona Prince back in the game. She was the first one out of the locker room, no surprise, right? When they came back for the second half, all energy, gave us a nice big smile over here when she came out, ready to play. Good first half. It's Michael Price a pat on the back. Nika Mule in the starting lineup. Here's Ducharme. Offensive rebound by Westbrook gives him a fresh 20. Uhas left open, did not get the bounce. Rebound, though, goes right back to her for the follow.
Really good job of staying active on the offensive glass by Uconn, getting multiple possessions, multiple opportunities to convert.
Oregon's biggest lead was 16 points. Now down to 11. 12 points already in this quarter for the Huskies in the first 4 minutes. Here comes Westbrook. Uconn has only played 6 players this afternoon. They have no bench points. Nelson Adota, short, rebound Ducharme. And Uhas gets tied up. Possession arrow gives it back to the Ducks. There you see the bench. Never a good sign, Steph, right? When you have all these people wearing sweats.
No, it sure isn't. And Uconn, as well as lots of different teams in the country, decimated by injury, but you take Paige Beckers off the floor and you lose the identity of the team. You know, you lose the identity of a team that's held together by what she does. I mean, she is a player who scored or assisted on nearly 60% of Uconn's offense.
Sedona Prince having herself a weekend, a double-double in the overtime win against Arizona. And she is rolling tonight. Defense, Sabally. Bringing the ball up all the way. Niara Sabally coast to coast.
point forward, Pam, when you have a player like Niara Sabli that can rebound the basketball, bring it down the floor, score in transition.
Everybody hitting the deck. India Rogers, they're on their feet. Oregon up big. Welcome back. The Oregon Duck and all the other Ducks are having a great time as they lead Uconn 53-36. Niara Sabli showing she's one special player.
Yeah, she sure is. A really good defensive play inside on Olivia Nelson-Adota. Gets a hand on it. Doesn't need to pass it ahead. She has it. She's looking. Look, her head's up. Her eyes are up. She doesn't see anybody in front of her, so she finishes in transition. Oregon has 14 points off of 13 Uconn turnovers.
Just the 8th game of the year for Sabli. Says her conditioning is coming back. And there you see the big three who scored 60 of their 68 points in the overtime win Saturday against Arizona have combined for 36, matching Uconn's total. Edwards in the game. Still no bench points for the Huskies. Westbrook got fouled by Shear. First one for Shear. And sends Adina Westbrook to the line. Started her collegiate career at Tennessee. Had the red shirt after she transferred. Last year started every game for this team and is back home in Oregon. Coming up Thursday, a great women's basketball top 5 matchup in the ACC. Can't wait. It's Louisville and NC State. Coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN and also on the app. Louisville, one of the 3 teams that has beaten Uconn this year, along with South Carolina and Georgia Tech.
And NC State looking like every bit of a Final Four team.
Yes, they have really started to come along. The ACC, unlike the men's side in the ACC, the women's side, it's 6 ranked. Virginia Tech should be in there.
Yep,
yeah,
that's
the
right.
ACC so deep on the women's side. Louisville and NC State so far the cream of the crop. That's going to be a great one coming up on Thursday. Meanwhile, here it's been Oregon. They trailed 10-0 to start.
That's a mismatch.
Good work. Oh my. Pow Pow.
Yeah, I love that Pow Pow just recognizes the mismatch right away. And when the post player doesn't roll to the rim and look for it on the guard, Pow Pow takes advantage of going against the big.
And remember, she's only a sophomore. That's terrifying.
It's scary.
She's got 17 points inside trying to get to Ardoto, and Prince reached in to pick up the foul.
And again, a lot of guards just try to beat big to the speed. I mean, she gets around her. She uses a move. She uses a what? A little shot fake? And then she says, yes, I'm strong. Little girls can get in here too.
Same high school as Kelsey Plum, right?
That's right. Candace Wiggins.
Something going on in the water there in La Jolla. Edwards able to get it out of trouble. Westbrook found some space, short. Sabli boards it and quickly gets it over to Pow Pow. See why this team was ranked 10th in the preseason. They will be back in the rankings soon.
Good pass. That's a really good look.
Now Edwards' turn to bring it up. Good path. Cut off by Rogers.
Oh, they have been missing Olivia Nelson-Adota all night long. If you get it to her 2 seconds or 1 second before that, she's got to lay up uncontested.
Said she had to work for that one. Nice finish.
She's been sealing, she's been open, but the ball has not been delivered on time.
India Rogers. But she was excited to play this game to get Oregon back into the national discussion. And when people see this score, if it holds up, they will be there. Another turnover. Shear has played some point this year for Oregon, so helps bring it up. It's been the Pow Pow show. She got clobbered on the way to the bucket. Fifth game back. He played all of 3 minutes before that stretch. Running back from a leg injury. Missed last year's last 5 games, including the tournament. Powell now 3 for 3 at the line as we see the bodies coming in for Oregon, and this is the production that is lost. Williams in COVID protocol. Paige Beckers only playing the first 6 games, got hurt against Notre Dame, and AZ Fudd 4 games. And how tough, I know you hurt your foot in the national championship game when Purdue beat Duke. How tough must this be to sit and watch?
It's hard. I mean, it really is. It's hard to watch anyway. Let alone when you're watching your team struggle and you want to be a part of making it better. And, you know, we saw Paige Beckers out there on the floor today and shoot around and just itching to get back out there.
Yeah, and that's the good news for Uconn fans as you take a look at Paige and AZ Fudd on screen, right? This was pregame. About a month out of surgery. Still chucking them up from the outside and having fun.
Enjoying it, yeah.
AZ Fudd just last week started to run on the treadmill, which is good news, but still not ready to come back, hoping to have them for the run in March. And that's an offensive foul.
And we haven't even mentioned Aubrey Griffin, who has been out the entire season and will be out the remainder of the season. But when you take away a player like Paige Beckers, again, I mean, she scores or facilitates and really runs the show for Uconn. When you take her out, everybody has to play outside of what their normal role. And Gina Auriemma and Kelly Graves, they both recruit pieces that have to fit together in order for their teams to be successful.
And that is one big component to take out. Good hustle again by Rogers. Floater. Edwards able to rebound it for the Huskies as we're inside a minute to go in the third quarter.
You don't want to try to get in a running game with Oregon if you're Uconn. These are some possessions where you need to get it out and try to run offense.
Elise Hurst comes into the game and nails a 3. That's her specialty, the Australian. 7th 3 of the game for Oregon. Westbrook, good close by Rogers. Edwards left open.
Avina Westbrook just looks timid to me. Not aggressive with the ball. She comes off of an on-ball screen, picks it up after one dribble. I mean, she's a player that Uconn needs to be assertive and aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. You know, she has struggled, and she's been inconsistent and been up and down. And they need her to step up.
Yeah, especially now, right? Where we just showed you all the production sitting on the bench, injured or ill for Uconn. Shot clock's off inside 10 seconds. Westbrook.
Got it.
Much needed for Avina Westbrook to close out the third quarter, but Uconn outscored by 6 in that quarter. It's a big 62-41 lead for the Ducks. Can shoot, because she had missed, what, 10 of 11 before that one?
Yes, she had.
And look at the last 4.
Yep.
Finally healthy. Look out for the Ducks.
And what a big confidence booster. I mean, this is a team that talks about being back in the national conversation. Kelly Graves, when I was talking to him in mid-December, he said, watch out for us in February, March. If we can put ourselves in position to get into the NCAA tournament, we will be a tough out. And with a win against Arizona, if they can hold on to get a win against Uconn, they're putting themselves in position to get in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Quality wins, and then they'll be getting deeper into the Pac-12, which is difficult. Still no bench points for the Huskies. Rebound taken down by Kylie Watson. Oregon still has to play Stanford. They will play just once. Lost to them earlier this month, so they got them again. Very different Oregon team, though, will be playing Stanford when they have the rematch. Nice look. Sabally to Pinto.
One thing Kelly Graves said about Yara Sabally is that you can't ever guard her with one person. Everybody's eyes are on her when she gets the ball, and because of that, she's able to find her open teammates just like that.
And look at that. Gosh. Ducharme. Her first shot in the Wild Falls. Freshman that has been averaging 16 points since Beckers went out with her injury in the 6th game. She is 18 right now. Good, another block for Nelson Ododa. That is her second block of the afternoon. Rogers going to have to shoot.
Good pass.
Yep, instead she passes. Got it! Another three for Hurst.
And again, when you get players back in their natural positions, when you get players who can play their role that they were meant to play, like Hurst, she's a catch and shoot shooter. Playmakers are back on the floor and they make her better.
Yeah, Hurst, about 70% of her shots come from beyond the arc, and she's good at it.
And early in the season, she was having to handle the ball. She was having to run the point. And now India Rogers finds her, shot clock winding down, gets her the ball in a position where she is most successful.
Good hand for Rogers. If she takes a break, Hurst is from Bendigo, Australia. Was a great player at New Mexico. Honorable mention, Mountain West last year, now playing here in Eugene. Boy, a lot of passes on that possession. Hurst, that time, has it go over. He gets the big smile. You gonna get that?
Well, you know I would, but
you have to put it on. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Have to get unwired and everything. They might have to get that after the game when they bring the basket down.
Yeah, Billy Graves said he's gonna do it. He's like, I got it for you. Oh, first try.
Now, if that would have gone in the basket, this place would have exploded, right? MVP.
He's got some skills.
The student section behind us starts yelling MVP for Coach Graves. Big smiles for everyone. Up 24?
You said that like you were questioning
I have no idea. They're up a lot. It's a chunky lead for the Ducks. Nelson Ododa still working hard, held by Prince.
And Nelson Ododa has been impressive. I mean, she's been aggressive on the offensive end. We know she's a terrific facilitator. But she's being vocal as well. I mean, she's being vocal in the huddles. 6 assists to go along with her 12 points. And again, they missed like the timing of when she gets the basketball. It's so important. It doesn't have to be that difficult, but that is a heck of a play. If you can get the ball when they're open, it makes their life so much easier. Right here, though, heck of a move on the baseline. Strong finish on the reverse.
That's 4 fouls now on Prince, who sits down. Coach Graves talking to her before she does. Kylie Watson comes away with it. 7 minutes to go as Pow looks over and gets a play call from Coach Graves.
We'll look for Oregon to continue to attack that high post and short corner looks. When you get the ball in the middle of the zone, you have a lot of options.
Hurst has missed a couple of threes after hitting her first 2, but an offensive board by Pinto. Floater, in and out by Pow. And then the finish on the other end for Caroline Ducharme.
I really enjoyed talking to her and just, her perspective on her expectations coming to Uconn, her expectations of whether she was going to play or not. Playing behind Paige Bueckers, you're not going to get a lot of minutes. There aren't a lot of minutes to be had, but that she prepped every day, awaiting her opportunity, and when she got it, she took advantage of it.
So the Uconn Huskies lost to Georgia Tech earlier this year when Georgia Tech was unranked. They've not lost to more than one unranked team since way back in 03-04. It's that kind of a season. We talked to Gino Auriemma, asked him if it was his toughest season. And it has certainly been, you have these expectations, and then your best player, literally the national player of the year, there she is on the left. Paige Bueckers is a freshman, was the first freshman to ever win the Naismith, Wooden, and AP National Player of the Year. That good.
Yeah, and Gino Auriemma talked to us about, you lose a player like Paige Bueckers, and again, you take that player off of any team and what it does to your team, the expectations of Uconn fans and the schedule being what it is.
Nice tie up. Yeah, Uconn fans not used to them losing. They've lost 3 games this year, pardon me. Remember, they're on a 13-year Final Four streak, losing here to Oregon. Welcome back to Eugene, Oregon, as we honor Pat Summitt and her continued impact on women's basketball, both on and off the court. We back Pat, Pam Ward, along with Steph White, and we both have the honor of knowing Pat Summitt and some of your special memories.
Yeah, one of the most special memories I have of Pat was when I was working in broadcasting, one of the very first games that I called, and I had emailed Debbie Jennings, and I said, hey, Debbie, I'd love to get a hold of Pat and talk to her before I come down. Don't want to have to bother her at shoot-around. She's like, sure, here's her cell phone. She gave me Pat Summitt's cell phone number. Yeah. I called Pat. She was so gracious with her time. She talked for like 30, 40 minutes, asking me how I was, how things were going, not just about her team. Then we go down, and in shoot-around, she invites us into film session, right? Pat Summitt paved the way, opened the door, grew the game of basketball because of her willingness to be open, because of her willingness to invite media in, to see behind the scenes, to connect with an audience in a way that most coaches wouldn't and most coaches don't. And it was such a special moment for me. I remember saying at that moment, I want to be that kind of coach. I want to be that kind of coach.
Yeah. To be that gracious and setting such a high bar, and as people know, as the game grew, she would play anybody.
Yep.
Because she would go out to Stanford, up to Connecticut, getting that great rivalry going, to get the game on national television. Our former colleague Carol Stiff certainly was a major component of getting those matchups, and Pat was the most humble superstar you'd ever want to meet.
Yes, she sure was. As a player and as a young person, being recruited as a high school athlete, whenever Pat Summitt was in the gym, you couldn't help but want to impress her.
Yeah. And she owned every room she walked into with those steely blue eyes, but couldn't be more kind. As Sabally, tough turnaround. And then, boy, Sabally hit the deck hard. Niara Sabally is shaken up behind the play. Mule misses on the other end, but the concern now is with Sabally. Kim Terrell is the athletic trainer as it gets dead quiet here at Matthew Knight Arena. Coach Graves out there as well. This is Sabaly's 5th game back after missing 7 of the last 8. hurt her right knee early in the season, and that was a hard fall.
Oh yeah, Maddie Shear came right into Sabali's leg. You know, there's... Oh, you hate to see that. She was talking to us about how much work she's been putting into all of her rehab, pre-post practices.
And that's the problematic right knee that appeared to take the brunt of that, and she is helped back into the dressing room. A couple of ACLs that wiped out her first 2 years here in Oregon before she was finally able to play. And that's put a damper on what has been a very celebratory afternoon for Oregon. Shot clock winding down. I was talking about Pat Summit too, the Pat Summit Foundation, patsummit.org. They've come up with a caregivers initiative as well. They just celebrated its 10-year anniversary. And again, if you want to go to patsummit.org to look into the great programs and the awareness after she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and the numbers are staggering, Pam. I mean, 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease, 11 million unpaid caregivers, and what the Pat Summit Foundation is doing for support, not only for researching the disease, but for caregivers.
Yeah, the respite for caregivers, the adult day centers that they are starting to set up. A big presence in Tennessee now, but starting to branch out all across the country. And fans here in Eugene counting down. Prince knocks it out of bounds. Remember, this would be not a bad 48-hour stretch, right? You beat Arizona, who's in the top 10, and then you're thumping Uconn.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, and just the confidence that this team is building, you know, getting players back on the floor and playing well together. I mean, it's not easy. You look back at some of the losses that they had in November and December, to be where they are now and to know that their best basketball is ahead of them.
Boy, Westbrook with a terrific pass to Ducharme. And Coach Auriemma said he'd love to run with this team, but obviously, well, not so obviously perhaps, but could not do that because of the just 8 players available, and they've only played 6. Edwards is the only player to come off the bench this afternoon for the Huskies. Super Wildcard Weekend capped off tonight. You know, there's Monday Night Football playoff stuff on ESPN ABC and ESPN Plus. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals taking on Matthew Stafford and the Rams at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. There's a mega cast coverage with Peyton and Eli right here on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, Between the Lines on ESPN Plus, and the ESPN Deportes Spanish language version. We got it covered, and here's the comparison. Matthew Stafford is not in Detroit anymore. He's playing in a playoff
He's
game.
happy he's not in Detroit anymore.
With all due respect, those long-suffering Lions fans, bless your heart, but that's going to be a great matchup coming up tonight. That's exciting, right? We got playoff football on a Monday night.
It is exciting. Who you got, Pam?
I'm going to go with the fighting Matthew Stafford's.
You are, yeah. That's probably a good choice.
Yeah,
Arizona seems to have hit a little downfall the latter half of this season.
It's a little early. They're no Tennessee Titans, right?
No, they're not.
Nashville excited about them.
Sure are.
Can't connect with Edwards. Ducharme getting so much experience, and now some pressure from Uconn. And you wonder what lies ahead for Connecticut. They're playing in the Big East, back in the Big East for the second straight season after the American Conference, in which they lost exactly 0 games. They were 139-0.
Yeah.
And off to a similar start in the Big East. Watson with the follow. And Niara Sabally is back sitting on the Oregon bench with ice on her right knee. Only hope for the best for Niara, especially as you mentioned, boy, so much work to come back. Nika Mule gets the three-pointer, her first points of the game.
Well, I think this is, you mentioned what happens next for UConn. I mean, this is a UConn team as Pow Pow knocks in another three. It has opportunity in conference play to build some confidence with some of their other pieces, get Kristen Williams back. Of course, have a matchup early February with Tennessee.
And before that, they play South Carolina for the second time this year, and that will be in Columbia. They played them earlier this year in the Bahamas and lost by 16. And there's Gino. 2007, that was the Sylvia Fowles, Simone Augustus era, right?
Yes, that's right.
When they beat them, I believe that might have been out in Fresno. Might have been there. That was, again, Husky fans aren't used to losing, much less by scores like this. But they're hoping to get Paige Beckers back in mid-February.
Well, what a jolt that would be. I mean, if you can get Paige Beckers back, if she can, work her way to being healthy, to being confident, getting on the floor.
And Easy Fudd, the #1 recruit, like Paige was the year before. Nelson Udota's played a really good game.
She has. She's been solid. She's been aggressive. She's been a great leader.
Yeah, and she doesn't care that they're down 20. She's still working hard. And that's one thing with UConn. They're perennially great condition. They're going to play hard from whistle to whistle. And when you go to practices, if you're ever fortunate enough to go, the paces that his staff and Gino puts them through is very impressive.
It is, and he was even talking today in shoot-around about how hard you have to cut, how quickly you have to move. I mean, there's a pace with which you have to do everything in order to be successful, and he holds him to that standard.
And the precision under which and the excellence that has been part of his career. In a minute. Left to go now in this game. Sports Center is coming up next. They will get you ready for playoff football. Beware the Ducks, right? This is not, they're going to go to 10-5 on the year. Hope that Sabally will be okay. They play at Washington State later. Still have that rematch against Arizona.
Yes.
Got a little chippy here on Saturday.
Sure did. That rematch will be an electric atmosphere.
February 4th in Tucson. Oregon coming back from a double-digit deficit in the third quarter to win in overtime on Saturday, and then you cap it off with an MLK Day victory over Uconn. Huskies going to get back on the charter, go back east. Nice, Ducharme getting it into Edwards. Those are the first bench points for Connecticut today, and it happened with about 25 seconds left to go. And the fans at Matthew Knight Arena rise as one. The Oregon Ducks have beaten Uconn 72-59, the second straight time they have taken them in convincing fashion, doing that also the last time they met.